All right, here we go. We are going to talk today. We've talked a lot about terrestrial biomes. Today, we are going to talk a little bit more about aquatic biomes. And Colt, we will make the word aquatic be the first vocabulary word I jot down on my anchor chart. If terrestrial means land, what do you think the aquatic biomes have to do with? All the water biomes. So if you just want to put aquatic means water, that's fine. I want to write that in blue, but I'm going to need all the blue for all of the aquatic biomes we're about to cover. All right, moving past aquatic, we will come back and watch this together because obviously I can't watch it. It'd be copyright issues. Again, anything that we cover from here on out, I mean, I have them in order, but when you're on the test, Serenity, if it has to do with water, rivers, streams, lakes, ponds, bogs, marshes, estuaries, oceans, all of those are going to be our aquatic biomes. We are going to start off with the largest of the biomes, the oceans, the marine biome. That is any region of the Earth's surface that is covered with salt water. And Danica, definitely one of the toughest vocabulary words we will ever have is salt water is water with salt in it. I know, that one's tough. Shouldn't be missing that one. Salt water is water with salt in it. Fresh water is a little weird because it says it has little or no salt in it. But salt water is going to have a pretty high concentration of salt in it, the marine biome. The marine biomes have the most biodiversity. Probably right under that is going to be our tropical rainforest and then followed by the temperate rainforest. There are more plants and animals that live here than in any other biome. This is the second or third time Lindley had said this. If I don't have this in my notes, I need to make sure I have it in there when I go back to look at them. But the marine biome is the largest biome. It includes all the oceans. No, you do not have to memorize the oceans. It does. We had that in there. I know you guys were looking at that part of the notes when I was like getting rid of some of the stuff. There are different zones of the ocean. I don't believe we have to memorize those this year. You should know the animals of the ocean. I cannot list them all if this is the place with the most biodiversity, Colt. I can only list some of them. You will know. They are not going to give you some random animal that nobody's ever heard of. It's going to be something like, oh yeah, that's in the ocean. It's not going to be hard, so don't stress that at all. They don't make that too difficult. It does cover about 70% of the Earth. That's all the oceans and some other gulfs and bays as well. They are very salty. What do you mean, wait? Do what? There is, but the oceans cover 70% of the Earth. If you look at a globe and you were to tally up all of the land and all of the ocean, ocean's about 70%, land about 30%. All right, this is nuts. There's about 1 cup of salt per gallon of water in the ocean. So if you went home, you took a milk jug, you dumped the gallon milk jug out, and you fill it up with water, you would need to like scoop out 1 cup of salt and dump it in the milk jug and mix it up. And that's going to be roughly about what seawater is. When there's evaporation and things are hot outside, there's a lot more salt because the water is leaving and the salt stays there. If it rains a whole lot, it's going to be less salty. But for the most part, there are over 1 million species of plants. 1 million species of plants. Landon has to memorize them all. But the rest of us, we're good. We do not have to. So make sure you're paying attention. And scientists think that there might be over 9 million other species of plants and animals that we haven't even discovered yet, especially in some of those deeper parts of the ocean that we really have a hard time getting to. You guys just make life difficult. All right, moving on. We will play this later. Kelp. Kelp is definitely one that I want you to remember. Kelp is extremely important It is used in our toothpaste. Some of them. It is in different kinds of ice cream. Yeah. I don't know. I'd have to look. So y'all thought that the bugs in the Nerd clusters was bad. I'm going to be honest with you. You have seen me, like, y'all have laughed at me when I eat that seaweed, that dried seaweed. Pretty much the same thing. It's good. They're good. All right. Kelp is very important for many different reasons. It's not just that it is a food source, because we can look there and see that looks like something that smaller fish might eat. It also absorbs the power of a lot of the waves that are coming in. And we'll watch a video where you can see the kelp swinging back and forth. And because it takes away some of that, it causes less erosion of the beaches. In this area, there's another marine plant called phytoplankton, because it has that word phyto in there. It is a plant. It provides the earth, Aubrey, this is amazing, with half of the earth's oxygen. There are tiny microscopic plants in the oceans, but the oceans do cover 70% of the earth. They provide us with half of our oxygen. So when we talk about things like pollution and the effect that we can have, we cannot just let oceans get overrun with like chemicals and stuff. If those phytoplankton were to then start dying out, half of the oxygen. And it's not like we're leaving all of the trees up. I promise you, probably all of us have driven by some sort of construction, either on the bus or in the car on the way home, where somebody has chopped down some trees to build a new place for their homes. If not, I can show you the video of the place right next door to me where they have chopped down some trees to build a place for a new home. Like, it goes on everywhere. So we have to make sure we're taking care of the oxygen producing resources that we have. So it's very important. So kelp, we'll spend a little bit of time talking about that. I don't think I had that in my plants in the notes. I might go back in and add kelp though, just in case. That is a very fun video that we will watch in just a moment. The Earth's oceans are home to most of the plant's biodiversity. That's a repeat. Mollusks, fish, whales, crustaceans, bacteria is everywhere. Fungi everywhere. Sea anemones and other animals. As we see that clownfish in the background, it is inside of a sea anemone. Did you guys know that they live together? And they have a... If you look at this. Look right there. Bianca. Look, like right inside of that is the word Nemo. So, pretty sure that's where they got that from. So again, most of the biodiversity, half of it at least, is in the oceans. Very unique. We'll talk more about the clownfish and the sea anemone as time goes by. The ocean saltiness. Well, if you've ever been to the ocean, and especially if you've been knocked down by a wave, you know that the ocean is salty. However, it can get less salty when it's raining a lot at the beach, and it can get more salty when it's not raining and it's very hot and all the water is evaporating. Cora, if you go home and you take that gallon of water that we just made in our imagination that has water and then a cup of salt, and you pour that in a pot and you boil the water will evaporate. The salt stays in the pot. It's pretty unique how that happens. And we'll come back to the coral reef later. I'm going to throw these notes up there for everybody. I'm going to probably stop this video as well. We might have time to watch that one video from Nature Boom Time. I'm going to give you a few moments to write this down, and then we will see how much time we have left. And for the folks at home, I'm not going to do any more notes today. So for the second time today, like and subscribe.